In the heart of an ancient city draped in dust and sunlight, a prince, young, skilled, and newly forged by hardship, pulled himself to his feet atop the palace wall. He had no name history would remember, but legends later would simply call him the Prince of Persia. At that particular moment, what mattered most was survival. The palace, once humming with celebration after a victorious conquest, now lay in ruins. Through a combination of pride and disastrous curiosity, the prince had unleashed the sands of time, transforming friends, foes, and subjects alike into grotesque, shambling monsters. With a battered dagger at his belt and guilt heavy on his conscience, his adventure, his redemption, was only beginning. Moving silently along the mosaic floors and crumbling parapets, the prince was hunted by his own mistakes. The creatures born of the sands seemed endless, relentless, and every ricochet of his blade was matched by the memory of what he'd set in motion. But he pressed on, agile and determined, his acrobatic prowess the only constant in a world torn apart by magic and ambition. That dagger, set with a swirling hourglass gem, was more than a weapon. It was the artifact that could control time itself, rewinding a moment, freezing an enemy, glimpsing the brink of defeat, and then, just for a breath, cheating fate. With every impossible leap across deadly traps, the prince realized he was walking the thinnest edge between the past he'd destroyed and the future he might still set right. He was not alone. The palace's halls echoed with another's footsteps. That of Farah, the sharp-witted daughter of a vanquished Maharaja, equally intent on restoring the world. Though suspicion glimmered in her gaze, necessity forced the two together. In every exchange of glances and every act of trust, the prince was reminded of the line between hero and villain, written not just by actions, but by choices. Room by room, puzzle by puzzle, they struggled deeper into the heart of the palace. The prince, for all his growing reputation, was no infallible hero. He doubted, faltered, failed, and retried, sometimes only seconds apart. Yet for every failure, he learned. And for every mistake, he inched closer to restoring what was lost. The final confrontation came as a swirl of sand and steel, the prince standing at the edge of destiny, facing enemies both monstrous and human. Victory was hard won, and restoration even harder, but when the dust settled, the world was changed.